Welcome back to No Bias Hoops. Today we're talking about NBA free agency and all the deals that have happened so far. So the first one is Luka Garza to the Celtics on a $5 million 2-year deal. Nothing too big. Then the first major one is Tyus Jones going to the Orlando Magic on a 1-year $7 million deal. And I think this is going to end up being one of the best signings of free agency due to how low risk it is and how high potential the reward could be. Orlando needs another point guard after trading Cole Anthony and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope to the Magic, and bringing in Tyus Jones as a low-risk backup point guard who has been a really good backup point guard in the past is going to be huge for them. So I just really like this signing. And Tre Jones goes back to Chicago after being traded there in the Zach LaVine deal on a 3-year, $24 million deal. And in my opinion, that's kind of a steal of a contract. It's going to be really easy to move around, so I really like that deal for the Bulls. Jalen Williams gets an extension, 3 years, 24, pretty good for the Thunder. Bobby Portis re-signs with Milwaukee, 3 years, $44 million. Kind of an overpay in my opinion, but really not too bad compared to what else they have done. The Pistons re-signed Paul Reed. Luke Kornet goes to San Antonio on a 4-year, $41 million, which is kind of insane to me. Luke Kornet is pretty dang old at this point and has been a solid backup for the Celtics, but I feel like the Spurs have enough backups that they don't really need Luke Kornet, and $41 million is kind of steep for me. Jake LaRavia goes to the Lakers, 2 years, $12 million. Kind of an overpay, but maybe Jake LaRavia will blossom in LA. Hasn't done too much in Memphis. Trendon Watford signs with the 6 years, 2-year, $5 million contract. That's a steal for Philly. He's been pretty dang good, and he'll play well with the Sixers after losing Gershon Yabusele. Kevin Porter Jr. goes back to the Bucks, 2-year, $11. Not terrible. He played pretty good this season. Caris LeVert goes to the Pistons, 2-year, $29. That's pretty much going to be the Malik Beasley replacement after the potential gambling scandal and potential ban from the NBA, but I really don't think that he's going to be guilty after looking into it, but you never know. Ty Jerome goes to Memphis on a $28 million 3-year deal, which is pretty good. Ty Jerome was really good for the Cavaliers this season, and getting him is going to be huge. Mason Plumlee goes back to the Hornets. Kevon Looney goes to the Pelicans, 2 years, $16 million. Kind of pretty interesting. He's one of the locker room guys in Golden State, and they kind of just let him walk. Then you got Josh Minott goes to the Celtics. Not a big deal. This is a pretty big one. Brook Lopez goes to the Clippers, 2-year, $18 million deal. He played 7 seasons in Milwaukee, was a DPOY candidate a few years back, and has definitely been slowing down, but the Clippers getting him to back up Zubac is kind of a perfect situation. He's not going to have to play as much minutes as he was in Milwaukee, but he's going to be still playing meaningful minutes in LA. Santi Aldama goes back to Memphis, and this is one of, in my opinion, the worst overpays. 3 years, $52 million. Aldama's pretty good, but this is going to probably end up looking like a Davis Bertans contract, Maxi Kleber, where a lot of teams had cap space to re-sign their players, so they just gave them more than really was needed, and I just don't love that contract. Now, this is a contract I really do like. Bruce Brown going back to the Nuggets. If he can return to anything like he was on that championship run, he's going to be great for Denver. Taurean Prince, 2-year, $7 million deal. Not terrible, not too good to Milwaukee. Gary Trent Jr. re-signed, same contract, 2 years, $7 million. I like that. Gary Trent was pretty good for them. The Jazz bought out Jordan Clarkson after 6 years, 6th man of the year. Was amazing for them, but ultimately they wanted to let him go, have a chance to win, and he signs with the Knicks. D'Angelo Russell, 2-year, $13 million. Not a terrible contract, and we'll see if D'Angelo Russell can make a few more playoff runs. Luke Kennard goes to the Hawks. That's a pretty good deal. 1 year, $11. Another one of those contracts. Not too big of a risk, and he could play really well for Atlanta. The Rockets, Clint Capella. I just don't think this was necessary after extending Steven Adams, and instead they bring in Clint Capella as well. 3-year, $21 million. Little steep for me, but not terrible. The Hawks add Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 4-year, $62 million with a no trade clause, I believe. And this could be an overpay. The Hawks are gonna have an interesting team, bringing in Kennard, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Kristaps Porzingis. If healthy, in a wide open East, they're gonna be contending, in my opinion. I think this is gonna be an off year for the Celtics, so it's gonna be whichever team can come compete with the Knicks, and it could be the Hawks. Nickeil Alexander-Walker's good. It's definitely a little bit much, especially with a no trade clause, but you never know. Dorian Finney-Smith, 4-year, $53 million. Honestly, Finney-Smith is 30. By the end, he's going to be 34. He's already slowing down, in my opinion, and I just don't love it, but he's good, and the Rockets are obviously making a swing this year, so bringing in Finney-Smith is huge. Then this trade is awesome for me. The Denver Nuggets trade Michael Porter Jr. and the first-round pick to Brooklyn, and I like this deal for both teams for Cam Johnson, because Michael Porter Jr. is pretty good, but he's really streaky, and for Brooklyn to basically get Michael Porter Jr., who's going to be Cam Johnson, but a little less. He's going to be a mentor for their super young team and getting a first-round pick. And for Denver, getting rid of Michael Porter Jr., they've really made some nice moves bringing Bruce Brown in, and they're retooling, and that's what they needed to do. They couldn't just keep running with the same team. I really think they should trade Aaron Gordon. He just doesn't really fit modern NBA play style without being able to stretch the floor, but I really like that trade. Julius Randle re-signs with the Wolves. DeAndre Ayton waived, and he ends up signing with the Lakers, which is interesting. Not a terrible contract either, so definitely one of the best centers the Lakers could have gotten, but I still think he's getting overhyped. He really hasn't been amazing when he played for Phoenix, and Portland played pretty well, but also was getting a ton of reps. Jaren Jackson Jr. re-signs with a 5-year deal with the Grizzlies. James Harden re-signs with the Clippers. James opts into his player option. LeBron. The Clippers waived Drew Eubanks. Gary Harris reaches a deal with the Bucks, 2-year deal. The Sixers re-sign Eric Gordon. Raptors, and this is one of the names I just still can't pronounce. Mamu Kelishavi. Sandro Mamu something. No offense, but that's a hard name to say. 2-year, $5 million. He's really good. Played for San Antonio this last season, and that's a pretty good contract. Jericho Sims re-signs with the Bucks. Trey Mann goes back to Charlotte, 3-year, $24. I think that's another one of those contracts that is going to be easy to move, and Trey Mann is really, really good. Larry Nance returns to Cleveland. Gershon Yabusele goes to the Knicks, 2-year, $12 million deal. It's a pretty good deal. He's gone back into the NBA after playing for Philly last season. They just didn't have the money to re-sign him. Pat Connaughton traded to the Hornets with two second-round picks just to absorb that contract for the Bucks. The Kings, 3-year, $45 million deal for Dennis Schroeder. Not amazing, but at least they're doing something and bringing in Dennis Schroeder. Tim Hardaway Jr. goes to the Nuggets. I really like that. He played well for the Pistons, and it's a 1-year deal, so it's another one of those contracts, not a big risk. Now, this is one of the worst contracts of free agency, in my opinion. Duncan Robinson, 3-year, $48 million deal. And this is similar to the contract he got with Miami and then didn't live up to. Duncan Robinson is a sharpshooter, but not much more than that. He hasn't played amazing with Miami. And the Pistons give up Fontecchio to Miami and then give him this big contract, and I just really don't think it's going to work out. Jakob Poeltl returns to the Spurs, $104 million. I don't think Jakob Poeltl is worth that much, but at least the Raptors are showing loyalty, bringing him back, and I do like that for them. Nuggets trade for Jonas Valanciunas. They trade Dario Saric, and the Nuggets are definitely retooling a ton, and I think they're going to have a chance to contend next year. Miles Turner goes to the Bucks after they waived Dame, and this is the most confusing. I made a video about it because they're going to have to pay Dame and Miles Turner, but only get Miles Turner's to play on the court. they're not going to have much cap space, and Miles Turner is good, but giving him a no-trade clause and a player option for 4 years is steep. He's not an all-star. It's definitely interesting, and if it works out, they'll be the ones laughing at all of us, but I just don't see how it works out. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander re-signs 4-year deal. The Bucks waive Chris Livingston, and the Mavericks re-sign Dante Exum. Spencer Dinwiddie signs with the Hornets, and then, yes, just today, Ayton joins the Lakers, 2-year deal. And that's all so far. There's going to be a few more, but likely Cam Thomas just re-signs with the Nets. Then you have guys like Jonathan Kuminga, Josh Giddey. A lot of restricted free agents are still available, but they will almost guaranteed all re-sign with their teams. Yeah, you could maybe see Brooklyn overpay Kuminga just to steal him, but I just don't really see that happening. And if there's any other crazy deals, which I just don't think there will be, I'll probably make a short about it. But like, subscribe if you like the video, and thank you so much for watching. See you next time on No Bias Hoops.